Everyone, welcome back. We are in blood physiology, so we're going to start our T cells. That is formation of T cells. That is also called as lymphopoiesis. So let us see how our T cells are formed. So we need to again go back to our previous chapter so that we can get it. So in the new hemapoiesis takes place in a bone marrow. So whatever the blood cell, even the T cell starts from its birth in a home bone marrow, and also in the adults. Even in adults, the formation of all these blood cells takes place in the bone marrow. So first, pluripotent cells convert into multipotent cells. Those are our lymphoid and myeloid stems. Now we can understand lymphopoiesis means from lymph. So of course, lymphoid cells lead to formation of our T cells. T cells, B cells, natural killer cells, all are coming from our lymphoid multipotent cells. And the myeloid cells are also multipotent. They give rise to RBC, platelets, WBC like neutrophils, eosinophils, monophils, basophils. So we will see all those WBC next. So today we are going to mainly focus on T cells. So even though erythroblast is a precursor of RBC, it is not a stem cell because it degenerates after producing the RBC. So we know what is a stem cell. Stem cell is the one which keeps its population alive. But here erythroblast is a precursor. It just forms the RBC and die, but it will not keep its own population. But you can see stem cell, even when it divides, it maintains its own population. And a wonderful totipotent stem cell is our zygote, which can form whole of our body. So now let us see neutrophils. Neutrophils are actually, these are all white cells coming from the myeloid stem cells, right? So neutrophils are multi-lobed red and blue granules. So I'll draw here, you can get it. So for example, oh, this very light. I'll get one more. So yeah. So for example, this is a neutrophil, right? In a neutrophil multi-lobe nucleus, it will be like this, multi-lobe nucleus. And neutro, in the name of it's neutral, means it has both red and blue granules. So red sometime and also blue, means both together are present in a neutrophil. Next, coming to eosinophil, bilobe nucleus. Eosinophil looks like, in the name you can understand all red granules. So you can remember like someone is having more red pimples and they're covering it by glasses. So like that you can remember eosinophils bilobe nucleus, that is they're putting glasses because they're having more pimples. So like that you can remember because red granules. And neutrophils means multiple, as it's having multiple granules like both red and blue are present. So multiple, it is having multinucleated nucleus. So like that you can remember. And next, coming to our basophils. Basophils have normal nucleus and have blue granules. Only blue granules are present. Normal nucleus means you can check somewhat like this. Yeah, like somewhat kidney shaped, not kidney shaped, normal nucleus. Okay, so this is about basophils. Now let us see WBC. So mainly WBC is divided into granulocytes and agranulocytes. In the name you can understand, but don't get this is a misnomer. We will see that granulocytes is divided into, you can remember this as Ben. I already said you B and basophils, eosinophils, neutrophils. And agranulocytes are mainly monocytes, lymphocytes. So remember that agranulocytes, they also have granules, but they are not stainable. That's it. Before they used to think they don't have specific stains to stain them, so they thought at agranulocytes. But later we have observed there are also granules in agranulocytes, that is our monocytes and lymphocytes. So monocyte mainly have a kidney-shaped nucleus, and lymphocyte. So monocyte will have like this kidney-shaped nucleus, and lymphocyte will have complete, almost complete nucleus, only some cytoplasm. So big nucleus. And natural killer cells are granulated cells. Natural killer cells are granulated cells. Yeah. Why we are saying about that? TB and T cells, B cells, and natural killer cells. Natural killer cells are also granulated cells. Remember that. So that's it. Next, let us move to lymphoid stem cells. So lymphoid stem cells mainly enter the circulation. So what is this lymphoid cells? Is nothing but T cells, B cells. So especially now we are talking about T cells. To T cells enter the circulation and attracted to the product which is produced by the thymus. That is, thymus is actually a bilobed asymmetrical structure, 10 to 15 grams in newborn, and in adults it is 35 grams, and in puberty it later degenerates and shrinks. In adults there is no, most of them have thymus. It degenerates in a adults or puberty. So in infants it is mainly 10 to 15 grams. So thymus is situation retrosternum in front of trachea, part of thymus developed from endoderm and also part of it from mesoderm. So it is having double origin. Part of it developed from endoderm, from third pharyngeal pouch, and especially you can say cleft, because cleft is made up of endoderm, and part of the mesoderm. Mesoderm is pouch. So from pharyngeal pouch, mainly especially third one, from third part it is forming, and from fourth pharyngeal pouch and third pharyngeal pouch there is development of thymus and also parathyroid. So even parathyroid is formed from third and fourth merely. So in some patients, this third and fourth pouch doesn't form well, and this is known as DiGeorge syndrome. DiGeorge means here two are involved, that is parathyroid and thymus, both are involved, hence the name DiGeorge syndrome. So the problem with both is the thymic and parathyroid are not well developed, and they have deficiency of cell mediated immunity and also hypocalcemia. Why cell mediated immunity? Because T cells are related to cell mediated immunity, so if they are not present there is low cell mediated immunity, and also hypocalcemia because no parathyroid, so low calciums in the body. So thymus is a bilobed capsulated structure. Remember, it has a capsule, and the endoderm is mainly forming the epitheliocytes or epithelial reticular cells, mainly from the third pharyngeal pouch. So from the third pharyngeal pouch, we are getting epitheliocytes and epithelial reticular cells. So mesoderm of the cell mainly produce the bone marrow, and they produce lymphocytes which reach the thymus. So they may ask you the question, T cells are coming from which part of the bone marrow? Mainly from the mesoderm of the bone marrow, and they produce a lymphocytes. They finally reach the thymus. Especially which lymphocyte? T lymphocyte, not B. B goes to bone marrow only and it gets matured, and TB, and we have natural killer cells. So the T mainly is getting trained under thymus. So the outer part, thymus is having mainly cortex and medulla. So the outer is cortex, inner is medulla, and medulla is fully developed, having fully developed lymphocytes are in medulla, and cortex is divided into lobules by septa. So from capsule only septa will extend inward and convert the lobules into different septa, and the cortex mainly have the developing lymphocytes. So in medulla already there are matured lymphocytes, and in cortex they are still developing. So after development they move on to medulla. So that's what we need to understand. And now epithelial cells of cortex produce a thymotexin. It attracts the lymphocytes to reach the thymus. So we are saying that lymphocytes are formed in a bone marrow. After that they reach the circulation. Okay, they'll be moving in the circulation. Then who will say that T lymphocytes to go to bone marrow or to go to thymus, especially to go to thymus, right? So who will say that to that T cells in the circulation to go to thymus? Mainly by this attractive molecules which are released by the thymus. So you can see here, especially in the cortex there are thymotaxins, and also not only thymotaxins, there are like epithelial cells also produce thymopoietin. So remember that this is very important. Thymotaxin is produced from the cortex cells, and the epithelial cells of the cortex produce thymopoietin, serum thymic factors, thymolin, thymosin. So all this help the lymphoid cell in the maturation and also towards the attraction towards the our cortex of thymus. So more lymphocytes are in the cortex than the medulla, because more of them are developing later. After mature they go to medulla. So there are concentric epithelial cells which are found in the medulla. These are called as Hessel's corpuscles, and these Hessel corpuscles get keratinized when they are aged. Means as a person is getting aged, then Hessel's corpuscles are aged, and these Hessel corpuscles are nothing but the remnants of the pouches, that third and fourth pharyngeal pouches. So in cortex mainly there is a blood thymus barrier. So in thymus, or for example this is thymus or cortex. Here also blood vessel passes, right? So between this blood vessel and the thymus cortex there is a barrier, where like a blood brain barrier, where the endothelial cells have tight junctions. Yeah, of course, so that the contents from blood can't leak here, and from this it will not leak here, and have a double basal lamina. Yeah, double basal lamina, and also epithelial cell process are plastered so that they can't enter the cortex of thymus, and this is nothing but the blood thymus barrier. So the why this barrier is present, its purpose is to mainly form the private microenvironment for the lymphocyte developing, so that the antigens in the blood can't enter. Means it want a private environment, it don't want the involvement of blood antigens, so it is like that. So from the thymic medulla the T cells reach the circulation and reside in the lymphoid organs. So now we are saying, just in T cells they are not completely living, just they get trained in the T cells, they develop in the cortex, next they mature in the medulla, and from medulla again they go back into the circulation, and finally from the circulation they reach the lymphoid organs. You know what are the lymphoid organs? Like our lymph nodes or spleen. So it may go anywhere to the lymphoid organs wherever it wanted. So the T cell is mainly in the cortex or CD4 negative and CD8 negative, that is double negative, or also we can say triple negative, because the receptor they are also having is TCR negative. So first the T cell is, when the T cell is in the cortex, they are all negative, means either they're not having CD4, either they are not having CD8 or TCR. So all these are negative, so we can say it as double negative, or also we can say triple negative. When we say triple negative, is when we also include this TCR receptor. So the products of epitheliocytes, as we are saying, epitheliocytes are present in the cortex of our T cells. So the products of epitheliocytes activate and mature the T cells, and they are thymosin. So thymosins, thymopoietin, serum thymic product, so also called nursing cells. So the products of epitheliocytes activate and mature T cells, and they are thymosins, thymopoietin, serum-thymic product, also called as nursing cells. So mainly in the maturation of T cells, these all are helpful. These are also called as nursing cells, because like supporting cells, they support the T cells for their development. And as they act on the T cell, they produce the enzymes within the cell, and they start reorganizing the genetic material, mainly called as primary genes like RAG1 and RAG2, which produce a recombinase enzyme and form the new genetic material and form new messenger RNA, thus produce a new peptide molecule, finally produce a T cell receptor TCR. So how the T cell new receptor is forming is by mainly the genes called as RAG1 and RAG2. As these new genes are formed, the new messenger RNA is formed, and finally the new protein is formed, that is nothing but our TCR receptor. So this TCR mainly produce a TCR positive, that is pre-T cell. So whenever this TCR, before that we said whenever it is in cortex, all negative, because they are not having that. But now if the T cell is having TCR receptor, so we can say like this is a T cell, right? And it has a receptor here, this is nothing but TCR, and this is present, then we'll say TCR positive. If it is TCR positive, we say it as pre-T cell. So all TCRs in the same cell are same but different in different cells. Yeah. So in the same cell they are same. But if you go to another cell and see the TCR receptor, it will be different from the this cell. So that's what they're saying, and this is also called as pre-T cell. So whenever you have a TCR, so one question, so whenever the CD4, CD8, TCR, all these are absent, then we call triple negative or double negative. Whenever we have TCR on the T cell, then we call TCR positive, also called as pre-T cell. And now next stage have the CD4 and CD8, and they start moving to the medulla. And the CD4, CD8, when both are present, then we call as double positive cells, because now here CD4 is present and CD8 is present. So the cell containing both CD4 and CD8, this is called as double positive cells. And the CD4, so till now the cells are in cortex, and now they started moving to the medulla. So when they are moving to the medulla, they become double positive, that is both CD4 is present and CD is present is now on the T cell. So mainly the CD4 binds to the class 2. So you can remember like a rule of 4 into 2 is equal to 8, right? And 8 into 1 is equal to 8. So remember the 8 rule, that is CD4 binds to the class 2 MHC, and CD8 binds to the class 1 MHC, that is major histocompatibility complex. So here this 4 into 2 I have said is to remember CD4 always binds with class 2 molecule, and CD8 always binds with class 1 molecule of MHC. So finally we get 8. So that's what to remember. So these are the double positive cells. So remember, whenever the T cells are in cortex, they are double negative or triple negative, and while they're starting to moving towards the medulla, they become double positive. And before becoming double positive only, they start to have a TCR receptor, so that they're called as pre-T cell. So now till now we can say double negative to pre-T cell to double positive. So now if the lymphocytes doesn't recognize the self MHC1 and MHC2, they produce a fast receptor. So fast receptor, then epithelial cells are dead cells and produce the fast receptor and go to death. This is called as negative selection or apoptosis. So this is important. So when lymphocytes actually they recognize the self MHC1 and MHC2. So here we said this is CD4, CD8 positive. Here epithelial cell of a thymic cell, and here we'll have the MHC1, MHC2 for example. So always I said MHC2 is binding to CD4. So here it is 2, here it is 1. So this, if the lymphocyte is not able to recognize this MHC1 and MHC2, you can understand. If it is not recognizing, from this it will produce a fast protein which will say the cell to undergo the process of apoptosis. And if these are recognizable, you can understand CD4 binds with 2, CD8 binds with 1. That is nothing but this process. So this is called as negative selection. That is, if it is not able to find out the MHC1 and 2, then it is negative selection undergo the process of apoptosis. So, but the cells which can recognize the 1 and 2 self, they are selected to the further process, that is positive selection. So if they are selected positive, if they are not selected negative, that's it. So the nursing cells offer the self antigens. Some cells react or recognize and other can't, which can recognize the self antigen undergo the auto-death process. So what they are saying, nursing cells offer the self antigens. Self antigens means our own body has present. Some cells can recognize them and others can't recognize. The cells which can't recognize our self antigens undergo the process of auto-death process, because they are not able to uh, find out our own self antigens. If they are following our self antigens, means they are present. If they are means having a positive selection. If they are not able to recognize this, our own self antigen, they undergo the auto-death process. And cells which can't recognize the self antigen are selected for further process, that is negative reaction selection, negative selection. So cells which can't recognize the self antigen are selected for negative selection. So at the junction of cortex and medulla, there are the cells converted into either CD8 positive or CD4 positive, because the nursing cells which when touches the CD4 of class 2, only it activates, and in other CD8 with MHC1. So no more double positive in the medulla, they are only CD8, either CD8 positive along with TCR receptor, either CD4 positive along with the TCR receptor. So there are no more double positive now in the medulla after this process is completed. Now the T cells are present in pulse. Pulse means periarterial lymphatic sheet of spleen, and also present in the paracortical area of lymph nodes. So here now the T cells finally reach. So CD4 along with MHC2, that they form the T helper cells, and CD8 with MHC1 form the T cytotoxic cells. So you know, T helper cells mainly help in humoral immunity, and T cytotoxic cells help in cellular immunity. So, and also we have some other cells other than that, like T regulatory or T suppressor cells. These are also called as T regulatory or T suppressor cells. So total till now we have seen, after the maturation of T cells, we got three types of cells: T helper cells, T cytotoxic cells, or T regulatory cells, or T suppressor cells. These regulatory cells are also known as T suppressor cells. And remember that these T regulatory cells may be either CD positive, CD4 positive, or CD8 positive mostly, but not simultaneous, means not double positive again. They may be either CD4 positive or CD8 positive. So always remember, CD4 means they are T helper cells, CD8 means they are cytotoxic cells. So T is to B ratio is always 3 is to 1, because there are three types of T cells and only one type of B cells in the peripheral circulation. So what are those three types of T cells? T helper, T cytotoxic, T regulatory. T regulatory is mainly regulating this CD4 and CD8. That's it, that to remember. And now let us see the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are mainly divided into B cells, T cells, natural killer cells. B cells are as our T cells have TCR receptor, even B cells are BCR receptor, and they are also having CD79, CD19, CD20, 21 markers positive, and they form mainly plasma cell. You know, plasma cell have the cartwheel shaped nucleus, and their Golgi apparatus is very prominent, and they produce mostly antibodies, we know that. And even our T helper cell, mainly our T helper cell 2, helps our plasma cells to produce more more antibodies. And TCR positive, they have CD3. Now you can see CD3 positive, and they also have CD3. CD3 along with CD4 or CD8. So CD3 along with CD4, then it is called T helper cell. CD3 along with either CD4 or CD8, it is called T regulatory cell. Yeah, we know. And CD3 along with CD8 is called T cytotoxic cell. So always remember that in T cell CD3 is permanent, or either this CD4, CD8, they only keep on changing. That's it. And you know, natural killer cells are large granulated cells. Always remember, natural killer cells are granulated cells. Now let us see the divisions of T helper cells. So T helper cells are further divided into T helper 2 and T helper 1, mainly by use of some interleukin cytokines like interleukin 4 and interleukin 12. So if interleukin 4 is there, then it is converting into T helper 2. T helper 2 further, you know, by other interleukins like interleukin 4, interleukin 5, they are helpful for Interleukin 5 is mainly helpful for B cell differentiation, and interleukin 4 is helpful for B cell growth factor. And T helper 1, with the help of tumor necrosis factor, it and gamma interferons, they further act on different types of cells. So completed is T helper 1. Yeah, also T helper 1, this is very important point to remember. Even T helper 1 is related with cellular immunity. Cellular immunity, that is important. Only T helper 1 is mainly concerned with humoral immunity. So that's what you need to remember. And gamma interferon, all these are helping here. And finally produce the interleukin 2, which is acting on T cytotoxic cell. And next, natural killer cells. Natural killer cells are mainly useful for innate immunity that is present from our birth. It is not acquired. So here we have BCR. It is BCR negative, TCR negative, CD3 negative, CD19, 20, 21 negative, CD4 negative, CD8 negative. It is all negative. That is a natural killer cell. They are granulated. That is important to remember. And adaptive immunity. In adaptive immunity we have T cells, B cells. T cells are mainly leading to cell-mediated immunity. B cell is leading to humoral immunity, and TH1 mainly. TH2. TH2 is useful for humoral immunity. TH2 for humoral immunity, and tumor cells mainly produce mica protein. Mica protein, they kill the cell, and natural killer cells don't destroy the self-expressing class 1, but if not present, they will kill it. So if the self expressing class 1 is not present, then they also kill. And IgG mainly kill the cell, and natural killer cells are non-specific cells. So these are like some of the important points related with our T cells and its lymphopoiesis and T cell maturation. So this is all about T cell. Next we'll start our the WBC or white blood cells in detail.